As I've mentioned in other videos, a big issue with leaders is how do I get my company strategy lined up with my operational side of the business, which with the frontline staff, and how do I get these happening together? And indeed, how do I put the customer into that mix? You see, despite all the money you've spent on training programs and retreats and focus groups and all of those good things that you need, I know you need those things. But it still remains, the question remains, despite doing all these things, why hasn't all this stuff come together? Now, through my mystery shopping company and having done over 300,000 customer service evaluations, we've got a pretty good idea of where things fail and where they don't fail. And there are real patterns. What also happens, and we've seen through the data and talking to the leaders, is that there are two fundamental parts to this that are missing. The first one is purpose, which we're going to deal with today. The second one, which we've dealt with previously, is personality. The personality of our customers and our staff. I'll leave that one and you can go through and find the previous video to talk about the personality. But for today, we're going to talk about the personality of the customers and staff. Today, we're going to talk about purpose. You see, the purpose of your company is, I get it, I know, it's about making money. Fine, park that. After the idea of making money, what is there? You can say, well, we've got to make more money than we spend. Okay, get that as well. But how are you going to do that? How are you going to connect with your customers to make that money? You see, this all comes down to the question of purpose. Why does your company exist? What meaning does it have in the customer's mind? If you were all about price or value or utility or whatever, they would be the easiest things to tackle. You just go out there and be the cheapest price and you'll win all the business. But you know that's not the case. And you know your staff members don't work for you because you're the best payer. I'm guessing you're probably not the highest payer in the industry. So why are these people with you? And what do you do to make them connect with you even more? And why are your customers with you if you're not the cheapest? What makes them connect with you even more? This comes down to purpose. There's something going on in there, but you probably haven't made it completely clear yet. So let's have a think about purpose. What does it not mean? It does not mean, there are a whole lot of rules around what a valid purpose for a company is, and we'll delve into those later on. And those that are closely connected in our clients know what these things already are. But let's just suffice to say for now that let's deal with one of them, which is relational. A purpose can't be relational. You can't have a purpose which says, hey, we're going to be the best, the biggest, the number one, the number two, or whatever. Tying your purpose to something else doesn't make it unique. It's actually then subject to someone else's, an external environmental thing that determines where your purpose is, because you're not controlling the whole thing. If you're pegging it to something else, that something else is driving your purpose. It also can't be something numeric. You can't put numbers in a purpose because numbers go out of date. You can't put dollar signs in them. You don't want to say our purpose is to make $1 million. For starters, your customers and staff don't care about that. And secondly, you're either going to blow way past it or you're going to miss it by 1,000,000 miles. Those types of things that involve dollar signs and percentage signs, they tend to be goals. They're not a purpose. A purpose has to be evergreen and it can't be relational. Like I said, there are a whole lot of other factors in there, but those two might give you an idea as to how it might look. Another thing to give you an idea as to how it might look is to look at some examples. If we look at Hyatt Resorts, their whole idea, their whole purpose is to help guests rejuvenate. I think that's pretty cool because that starts to tie in and to give them a fresh environment. That starts to tie in the customers and the staff as to an idea as to what this thing's about. The Walmart, it's there to provide extraordinarily low prices for everyday people. That's a very clear statement. Now theirs is about price and everything is driven from the price, and they don't really deviate from that at all. And they've grown into be this massive behemoth. It's similar with the Aldi Group, who are there to deliver extraordinarily low prices. Started by two brothers in Essen, Germany after World War II, and they've done extraordinary things. You've got Google. Google is there to organize the world's information and make it freely available to all. A very grand type of purpose, but it's clear if you're working there, you know you're about organizing the world's information. And you'll do something, you'll create maps, you'll create email, you'll create search engines, you'll do these things to organize the world's information. From that, yes, money spins off in and out of that, I understand. But the purpose is very clear and it's timeless. Now, in our own small company, our purpose is to reveal the truth to help companies execute strategy. We're all about finding the truth in your operations so that you actually get that truth so you can make some changes to your execution of strategy, because usually it's poor information that leads to poor strategy execution. So you can do it also in your own company, but there are quite a few rules around what the purpose is. For the time being, just have a think about, at a broad level, beyond money and beyond time and beyond relational factors, why does your company exist? That question takes you a massively long way towards solving the problem of why execution and strategy are not tied together.